There is absolutely nothing at all standing in the way of Solana blasting off at any point. I have the daily chart in front of me right here. Y'all remember, if you've been watching Solana, the fantastic run up of 500% plus that we had from October to December, where we were down here around roughly 20 and hit a high of 127 and some change for an increase of what's that, a 6 times increase, 600% increase, and then some in a matter of 2.5 months. And then we had this little fall, just like crypto did across all of January. And then Bitcoin blasting off has caused Solana itself to also blast off again from about 80, let's say it rounding off, to a high where we are up around 118. The last few days, couple of days, have seen a little pullback, but that's absolutely meaningless in the grand scheme of things. My point is that from a technical perspective, which is what we're looking at it here by looking at price action on charts and how candlesticks form and all that, nothing, absolutely nothing is standing in the way of Solana absolutely blasting off and making new highs, new recent highs anyway. Solana is a strong coin. It is a very strong product or project. I believe it's in the top 5 of market caps for all of crypto. So it is absolutely set up to take off at any point. If you are holding Solana, the only thing you need to do is hold it. Okay. There's nothing you need to do to make bank for Solana. And if you've been in it through October, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The power of Solana, once it gets picked up, is incredible. And Bitcoin is causing right now, what is that? Rising tide lifts all boats. Bitcoin doing this right here, which it has been absolutely on a tear since back in January. It's the rising tide lifting all boats. I am trying my hardest to get these lines out of here. Okay, good. So it has been pulling Solana and these other altcoins up. And as long as Bitcoin keeps doing that, we're going to see basically gravity pulling these altcoins up. We do have some things to be watching for in Bitcoin. We're a bit extended here, which probably could absolutely mean nothing. This is the scheduled halving. I have it roughly drawn out here. This is April 15th through 20th, which is when Bitcoin is estimated to go through the halving process. When that happens, okay, that has always been a bullish move after that happens in Bitcoin, and that's why people are calling for all-time highs in 2024. Not only that reason, having a halving, having a halving in April is fantastic, but the ETF money pouring into Bitcoin is absolutely skyrocketing the price. And what do I mean by the ETF money? Well, back here is when the ETFs were approved in January, and that just opened the door for all this institutional money to flow into BlackRock, Fidelity, and all of these huge banking companies. It's given a door for institutions to put their money into Bitcoin. Here, and this is coming from Milk Road, which is a great follow on Twitter. Here's why Bitcoin's rally is just getting started. They're noting that we have a $2 billion inflow of money into these ETFs in just the last 4 days. Back here is when the ETFs started, and you can see inflow and outflow. But since goodness, the last 10 days has been nothing but green. And the last 4 to 5 days, really this week, has seen the biggest inflows into Bitcoin that we've really ever seen. It's just a matter of supply and demand. As long as we have so much more demand than supply, Bitcoin is just going to keep gradually moving up. Now, there is one thing. Historically, here's how prices behaved before a halving. We would have a nice run up like we're having now. And then about a month to 6 weeks before the run up, before the halving, we would actually see a 20 to 40% decrease in Bitcoin. Then we would consolidate for a while before absolutely taking off after the halving. Are we going to see that 20 to 40% decrease in Bitcoin? I don't think we'll see a 40% decrease. That would be approximately 20,000 points. I just don't see any way in this entire world we're getting down to 30,000 on Bitcoin in the next 2 months. Could we see a 10 to 20% fall in Bitcoin? Yes, we could. That would be anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 points, which would be in this area right here of 40 to 45,000. That seems reasonable, especially after having been extended right here. But one thing we've never wrestled with in halving is all this money coming into Bitcoin. So I don't know which is going to happen. My only point for Bitcoin and thus Solana is it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when are we blasting off. And then the secondary question will be how high. We don't know the when and we don't know the how high, but both of those are yes, right? The answers to both of those are yes. Will Solana blast off? It will. How high will it go? It will. Okay. So that's kind of the answer. If you are in Solana, you are perfectly set up for a fantastic run coming up over the next 12 to 18 months in 2024 and 2025. There's just no telling how big this how big this crypto run is going to be. Did I show you this one? One more bit of good news. Lark Davis, someone I follow for crypto on Twitter. 60 days to Bitcoin halving. We've already talked about how much of a bullish event that is. 90 days to the first Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF. So other countries are following the United States lead and opening their own ETFs for Bitcoin. And of course, Hong Kong is an Asian financial hub. Billions of dollars float through Hong Kong. 98 days to a potential Ethereum ETF approval. What will that do to Ethereum? How much money will flow into Ethereum then? And then 264 days to the US presidential election. I haven't looked, wasn't aware. I'm supposing that's generally a bullish signal for, or a bullish event for Bitcoin since he listed it here. His point is there's a ton of good news. No one is bullish enough. So the answer is yes. Solana is going to do very well. It's just a matter, a matter of time to find out when and how high Solana is going to go. Hang on, we're in for a fun ride. Y'all be careful out there and let's have some fun with crypto.